Congratulations, you've discovered the kettlebell, and now you're looking for some basic exercises and a basic workout. Kettlebell training looks hard and intimidating, and there's a plethora of exercises on social media and YouTube, and maybe you're confused. People keep asking this all the time. They say, do simple and easy kettlebell exercises and workouts even exist? The answer may surprise you. Grüß mit dran, Gregory von Lebe here. I understand where you're coming from. I really feel you because kettlebell training can seem intimidating at first. It is especially hard for beginners when you look at workouts that include a lot of ballistic elements such as the clean, the swing, or the snatch. These ballistic exercises take time to master. They take patience. They take skill, and it's probably the highest form of kettlebell training, and it's an awesome way to train once you've mastered these ballistic lifts. This maybe gives off the impression that kettlebell training is only suitable for professionals, which it is not. Ballistics do include a certain unpredictable element that needs to be controlled and mastered. This is true. However, there's a selection of exercises that we call the grinding lifts, and grinding lifts do not include a ballistic element, and they're easier to learn and easier to master. This does not mean that a grinding lifts kettlebell workout does not break a sweat and it won't push you to your limits. It will. However, the exercises will not be as hard to master. So let's take a look at the 3 exercises that we do with our clients once they start kettlebell training. The first kettlebell exercise we do is a kettlebell deadlift. With this exercise, we focus on the posterior chain of our legs and our back, but we also need our arms and our abdominals to stabilize the kettlebell. The second exercise that we do is a goblet squat. With this exercise, we focus on the anterior part of our legs, namely our quads, but we also need our arms and our abdominals to stabilize the kettlebell. And we need the chest, because when you keep the kettlebell in this goblet position, we actually mobilize and activate the chest to stabilize the kettlebell. This exercise demands a good mobility in your hip as well as some strong back muscles. If you don't have them yet, don't worry, you will just take a little bit more time to master the lift itself. The third and final exercise is a kettlebell press. With this exercise, we activate the chest, the shoulders, the upper body in general, and this is an awesome exercise to learn how to stabilize the kettlebell overhead and the overhead top fixation. This is a position that you will get used to once you start your kettlebell training journey. So with these 3 exercises, you train your whole body, you won't leave a muscle out, and you're good and ready to go. Let's take a look at these exercises in detail. So when we look at the deadlift, what you want to do is you want to stand shoulder width apart over the kettlebell. Make sure that you go into a hinge, that the hips push back, your upper body leans forward, and your back stays straight. And then we have to bend our knees a little bit to be able to grab the kettlebell. Once you grab the kettlebell, you want to use your hamstrings and your glutes, and you stabilize your back to lift it up into in the top position. Once you're up here, you don't have to go into overextension. Just extend your hips and your knees. You're good to go. And then you drop it in a controlled manner. Boom. And that's the deadlift. Always make sure that your back stays straight and that you push your hips back so you feel that the hamstrings are ready for action and that they add power to the lift. With the goblet squat, you want to keep the kettlebell in this goblet position. So here you see I'm activating my chest because I have to press the kettlebell to stabilize it up here. So the first thing that I do is I follow the cue chest up. So I push my chest out. Now what I want to do is follow the biomechanics of a front squat. So that means I push my knees out and I keep my chest up. So it looks a little something like this. I go into the bottom position. I always make sure that the chest stays upright, the knees are out, because this allows my upper body to stay straight. And coming back up. From the side view, knees are out, chest is up, back up, And here you see the aspect of the mobility that you need in the hips, because you need to press those knees out. And if you have longer legs, you even have to push those knees even further out. And this may cause some trouble if you have some tight hips. So if you have some tight hips, follow a good mobility and stretching routine to open those hips up. So the final exercise is a press with both hands. If we do a press with both hands, I keep the kettlebell in the so-called CrossFit grip. So that means thumbs are in the handle and fingers are outside on the belt. So I push my elbows in. Make sure that the elbows rest on my stomach. If you look at it from the side view, you can see I push my hips up and I relax my upper body so that the kettlebell can rest on my hips or on my stomach. Once I press the kettlebell in the overhead top fixation, I want to make sure that the elbows are fully locked and fully extended, and that the biceps is close to my ears, and that the body is now leveled. You can see that the kettlebell is resting on the top in the middle of my head. Once I go back down, I push my head back and the elbows come down. Always make sure that they don't flare out. Keep them in, and then I go back up. Overhead top fixation, back down, and that's it. The breathing mechanism in the deadlift, it sounds a little something like this. You breathe out when you're on top. You breathe out when you drop the kettlebell. When it comes to the goblet squat, it's preference. You can either keep the air in, or you can take 2 breaths in the down position and in the top position. When it comes to the press, there's preference also. Some lifters like to keep the air in when they're in the overhead top fixation and breathe out once they drop the kettlebell, or you can do 2 breaths, the same thing as in the goblet squat. If you get a little bit confused with the breathing, don't worry about it. The first thing that you want to do is get those movement patterns, bring and store those movement patterns in the cerebellum. This is right where the habitual movement takes place, where you don't have to think about it and you just do it. However, once you start lifting and learning new exercises, it takes a lot of energy in your brain, and therefore it may happen that you confuse the breathing and all that kind of stuff, because you have to learn the movement pattern first. When it comes to the workout, I will follow an easy protocol. That means you do the exercise for time and not for reps. You set the timer 2 minutes per exercise, so that means 2 minutes deadlifts, 2 minutes goblet squat, and 2 minutes press. You run them unbroken all together without any breaks. However, if you need a break in between, you take one, you rest for a few seconds, and then you get back at it again. And then you set a clear break after those 6 minutes of training for 60 seconds. So there you have it. 3 exercises for 2 minutes. This equals 6 minutes of training with 1 minute break after those 6 minutes. And you decide how many rounds you want to go. For a beginner, I would advise to start with 2 rounds, and then you can work your way up to 3 or even 4 rounds. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Rest assured, these exercises and these workout protocols that we're showing you, we do them with actual clients. So what we're teaching you is some real basics and some real experience that we have in real life with real clients. So if you want to see more of this stuff, like the video, share it with your friends. Let me know in the comments what you think about it. These comments boost the video and it helps out the channel. And if you want to see more and want to stay on top of your game with kettlebell training, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.